Greetings and salutations. All right, so tonight's late night chapter of Chatterbox. Missing people. That's going to be tonight's topic. Very impromptu ish. So, there's people that we miss in our lives inevitably. Losses, it's part of life. There's some losses where, like, for example, daily, I miss my grandmothers and my aunts, because they did the most to raise me. My mom's a workaholic. She's very, very compelled to, follow her ambitions very, very much. She had her moments, with motherhood. She had occasionally, and she had her other moments. But my aunts and my grandmothers both made the biggest impact. And so obviously when you lose someone that passes away, there's that type of loss, that grieving, and especially holidays, milestones, different things that really kind of, bring in that rawness right back to you. There's also missing people that, like missing friends that have grown apart, or, in some cases, with like romantic breakups, whether it's divorce or, exclusive relationships that break up, or even the poly ones too. There's that longing, the void, when the relationships sour and they change. Often with romantic breakups, one person feels differently than the other, inevitably. It's very rare that in a romantic breakup that both people are kind of on the same track, the same path, mentally and emotionally when those breakups occur. Um, Usually, I remember when my ex-husband and I were in marriage therapy, and we were kind of discussing the possibility of a divorce. The marriage therapist did point out, how, one of us was at the time 18 months ahead of the other when it came to, to processing, you know, that and all the emotions that go with it. And it was a good point, because we weren't on the same page at all, during the marriage, which is why it was failing, and certainly not during the divorce. The person, my ex was readier for the divorce than I was, and so he was farther along in the whole mental and emotional progression of it, than I was. For me, it was new, and where he had been thinking about it much longer and for months, and kind of already had been prepping and taking steps to, to be readier for it. Um, that happens too with dating. I have seen that as well too, where one partner is farther along than the other in contemplating where things are going to go next. And then with friendships, yeah, sometimes they can grow apart just by circumstance. People do move from place to place. People do get busier with their careers, their families, or they meet someone, and they start dating. I've seen a lot of, well, obviously with, having, girlfriends, when I was younger, I've seen a lot of when my girlfriends would meet, this amazing guy, they'd be completely infatuated and distracted. And it's like, yeah, girl time's just going to be on hiatus for a while, ain't it? And you get used to that. And I think guys go through that too, with their best guy friends, is that, the guy who meets a girl and suddenly his Friday nights, Saturday nights, everything's taken up and gone. They become besotted, and the infatuation does, kind of really take that high priority. And it takes a while before they get back to that balance of, seeing their friends and seeing the person that they are falling for. And a wise friend will be patient. It's not easy, though. A wise friend will be patient and let the infatuation run its course and hope that eventually there'll be a balance again. I had this one boyfriend in college, actually, who was very, very wise. He would have, I believe it was Friday night was for the guys, and Saturday night was date night. That worked. It really did, and that was something that we did right from the start. And it was brilliant because that way his friends still got their friend time and they still got to see their best bud, and he got that outlet, and then we still had our special time as well. Now, occasionally, did we, like, say there was a concert on, the typical guy night? Yeah, then we just switch, and then guy night becomes Saturday night that week, and date night became Friday night that week. No big deal. It worked out really, really well. Um, while my mom has her flaws with motherhood, my parents do, however, have a very, very healthy marriage. And I did notice, so growing up, they would get a sitter, a babysitter for me for every Saturday night. Saturday night was date night. And it was really smart that my parents continued to date each other, not someone else. That was a different bad habit. Anyway, tangent. Um, my parents would go on their dates every Saturday night without fail. And then they'd go golfing with friends on Sunday. So that would be kind of the foursome day. And on Tuesdays, I believe it was mom would play tennis with the girls or do bridge. And dad would have Thursdays and he'd go play racquetball with the guys. They had, since childhood, I remember this balance. And it was brilliant and healthy and very, very smart. They had their time one on one with their own gender of friends, and they had time that they did double dates with other couples, and they had time that they dated just the two of them. And they've been married, so they got married in 1965. They're still very happily married, even with owning a company together, which is, again, huge accomplishment. So while both parents are totally workaholics and not really around as much for the kids, they did have a healthy marriage, at least that they showed us. They showed me and my sister and I rather, a very, very healthy, model of what a really good marriage can look like. Balance. So yes, friendships when an infatuation takes place they do take a back seat, and it does happen. And the good, strong friends will be there, and we'll patiently wait for when the infatuation phase wears off, hopefully, at some point, and they come back around, and maybe they even introduce the person they're seeing to them, to the friends, and hopefully everybody gets along. Um, I know for myself, one of the things I did when I was dating my ex-spouse was he would come and and go to clubs, dance clubs and stuff like that with my friends. And so while we were dating, we would do the double date thing and he would introduce me to his friends in college as well. And that was good. During the 5 years that we dated, that went very well. When we got married, however, one of our faults, mutual faults, was that we stopped dating each other and did other activities. Anyway, um and we also stopped spending time with our friends where both of us were going along. I did work a lot, in the early part of our marriage before we had more kids. And then once we had more kids, I got very hyper focused on the kids. And so I wasn't, tagging along, and I should have. I should have tried to make more of an effort to, get a babysitter and to tag along. I should have made more of an effort to keep in touch with my own friends and not just get so wrapped up into marriage and motherhood as much as I did. And I did. I did overdo it. So if if I ever would delve into a relationship again, I definitely want to make time for both going out on a date with the new person, and I want to make sure that they spend time with my friends too, and that we spend time with their friends, and that we also are able to spend time with our friends without the chaperone. Um, that was one of the things I didn't like about my most recent or my last exclusive relationship was that I had this feeling that I was going to need a chaperone when I would see my friends. And it's like, just because I have co-ed friends doesn't mean I need a chaperone. And, that annoyed me because it's like, no, I don't want to always have to have you there, but I want you to feel welcome to be there, but I don't want to have you there. There is a difference. So that is kind of a lesson, that I learned, with dating the hard way. But I mean, really, that is how we kind of learn things sometimes is by the mistakes we've made, and you do have to kind of pick up the awareness of it and stuff too. Um, but yes, to go back to the missing topic, friends will grow distant. Yes, it's true. Um, but you have to pick up the phone or to send a text. You have to still make an effort to keep in touch with the people that are important to you, not just the ones that you're dating, or the ones that you're infatuated with, or the ones you fall in love with, even. You have to make time for the ones that you're platonically in love with, too. And it does take effort. on both parts. It takes, patience. It takes acceptance of, what the new lifestyle phase is, temporary or permanent. You have to be open to it. And it's not always easy. It is frustrating, and it can be annoying, irritating, etc. And ideally, you got to share those kind of things too, because your feelings will matter, do matter, and so do theirs. And the best thing you can do is to be open about it and talk about it and figure out, okay, what's the next balance? How can we make things a little bit better for both of us? Kind of a thing. And you have to figure out sometimes a whole new comfort zone. So that's today's ramble. Enjoy. So thank you too for those of you that leave comments on the videos. I do read them all. I do appreciate the feedback. It's good to see other people are reading this and to see what your experiences are as well. So thank you always for sharing. I do appreciate the feedback and comments immensely. Take care and all the best.